Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Gonzalez, and today I present a proposed constitutional amendment that, unlike most you have heard, this is not just an academic assignment, it is a personal mission. I am a mother of 4 beautiful children. I'm a full-time student, and of all, I am a child survivor of sexual abuse. This proposal is about transforming pain into prevention and silence into protection. Constitutional amendments are rare, intentionally difficult to pass, but I believe this idea merits a national conversation. The goal today isn't just to inform, but to persuade you that the law can do better and that it must. So I invite you to walk with me through personal history, legal present, psychological science, and moral urgency, because if you leave here understanding one thing, let it be this: prevention is possible, and justice should never wait until after a child is harmed. So I want to begin with vulnerability. As a survivor, sharing my story is never easy, especially in an academic setting, but I believe public policy must reflect real people's pain. Speaking out loud doesn't mean I'm healed, but it means that I'm trying to turn survival into strategy. As a mother of 4, every day I look into the eyes that deserve safety and innocence and peace. That reality drives this proposal. I survived what no child should. But my kids, they shouldn't have to overcome this. They should never have to endure it in the first place. Child abuse isn't trauma. Even sexual abuse, any kind of abuse for a child, it has lifetime long consequences. The silence surrounding it protects predators, not the victims. In the legal system, it happens too late. I speak for those who couldn't, for the thousands of children whose pain is never reported, the stories that never surface, and for those who still sleep with the lights on. Today, I choose to speak loudly, strategically, and constitutionally. The amendment I propose is bold and controversial. It mandates the castration of convicted child sex offenders, chemical or surgical, after conviction with strict legal safeguards in place. What does this mean? It's not arbitrary, it's not cruel. It applies only when guilt is legally confirmed, beyond a doubt, when all appeals are exhausted and evidence is irrefutable. The goal isn't vengeance. It's prevention, ensuring a convicted offender can never again harm another child. Castration might sound extreme, but it already exists in some forms in some states. My amendment seeks to standardize it at a federal constitutional level to protect children equally across the country. This proposal is tightly bound due to process. It does not bypass legal standards, but it rather follows them through its finality. This is about closing the door on repeat offenses forever. Alright, so let's talk about numbers. In 2022, over 500,000 of cases of child abuse were reported in the U.S., and that is what's documented. There are probably many, many other cases that haven't been reported because people are scared. The children are scared. Experts believe the real number is so higher, and a lot of times children aren't believed. Every number is a child failed by the system meant to protect him. And what do? Sentence, release, repeat. This amendment says no more. It plugs legal gaps and creates a permanent solution. Think about the predators who receive lenient sentence, serve partial time, then return to those communities. Current laws offer few guarantees that they won't infringe. We cannot rely solely on incarceration. We need interventions that are permanent, medical, and preventive. This is why I believe this amendment matters. It's not just personal, it's statistical. It is evidence-based, and it's constitutional responsibility. Let's talk about recidivism. The likelihood of refunding is alarmingly high among sexual offenders. Studies have shown traditional jail time doesn't rehabilitate this behavior. Many people reoffend within years of release. But with medical interventions, especially chemical castration, can dramatically reduce the urge. In 2020, meta-analysts show that testosterone-suppressing treatment significantly lowered the reoccurrence rates. Some states like Alabama, Florida, they already offer voluntary chemical castration, but voluntary is not enough. This amendment makes prevention mandatory once guilt is confirmed. Think of it as a treatment, not just punishment. Offenders lose access to the hormonal drivers of abuse. Society gains security. This science is not speculative. It is studied, it is implemented, and it's documented. We must trust the data and prevent children with it and protect them. Alright, so now let's examine the legal landscape. States like Texas, Florida, Louisiana, they allow surgical or chemical castration, but only in limited cases, and it is voluntary in many jurisdictions. Meanwhile, other states offer no such intervention. This creates a patchwork system where protection depends on geography. Imagine being a survivor in one state who seeks justice served, and another who sees an offender released with minimal restriction. This is just unfair, and it is unsafe for other children. Constitutional law exists to standardize these protections. This amendment would remove inconsistency and guarantee equal enforcement across the nation. Child protection should never be localized. It should be national, unwavering, and enforceable. Now, some may ask, does this proposal violate human rights? Does it compromise due to process? The answer is no. It is designed with legal and medical oversight. This amendment would only take place after a final conviction with no pending appeals and irrefutable evidence that has been reviewed. Medical ethics would guide administrations of this procedure, ensuring it aligns with health standards and mental health screening. We are not sidestepping fairness, we are redefining responsibility. It is our legal system built to protect the innocent, but we must neutralize the threat of repeated abuse. This amendment respects constitutional values while addressing the Constitution what hasn't been confronted yet, the long-term prevention of child sexual harm. America is politically divided, but this issue can unite us. For conservatives, this amendment reinforces law and order, reduces incarceration costs, and ensures consequences. For progressive, it prioritizes victim safety, trauma-informed policy, and structural prevention. Child safety is not a left or right. It is human. Let's shift the focus from ideology to protection. Let's remove the shame and introduce structural integrity. This proposal isn't partisan, it's personal. And if both sides of the aisle care about public safety, then this amendment deserves bipartisan support. Our children cannot wait for a political consensus. They need constitutional commitment. Now I close with this. We cannot change what happened to us, but we can shape what happens next. This amendment says survivors matter. It says that protection must precede harm, and I ask each of you, not as students, not as citizens, not as colleagues, but as people, to support policy that proactively safeguards the innocent. Sign the petitions, contact legislators, educate others. This conversation can't end when I leave here today. Let's begin it here. Our children deserve more than fear. They deserve laws that see them, protect them, and believe them. Now, this presentation is backed by research, medical journals, legal analysis, survivor testimonies, and public data. I encourage you to review the work cited to deepen your understanding. Among them are studies of hormonal treatment, legal interpretations of the Eighth Amendment and statistical patterns in sexual abuse. Advocacy without evidence is empty. Advocacy with research is unstoppable. Thank you for walking with me through this difficult but necessary conversation. Let's change for the future together.